Proud 107.5, 106.3, Columbus's number one station for hip-hop and R&B. You're tuned in to Any Given Sunday. I'm your host, Yaves Ellis. Make sure you reach out to me on Twitter at Power Columbus or personally at Yaves Ellis. I'm excited, man. Got a very special guest in the studio. You know, we had a great first segment, a lot of good interaction and call-ins and that kind of great stuff. And I'm excited because she's doing an amazing thing right now. She's a journalist slash broadcaster slash anchor for one of the other news stations here in Ohio, but she's still in college, full-time, still in college doing full-time job, full-time anchoring as well. Jordan Dunlap, what's up? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Glad to have you here. So before the break, we talked about kind of the things you've been doing, your journey, and I want to talk about the I Live movement. All right, so what is that?
So in a nutshell, I Live the Movement is basically a platform for survivors of any mental illness to basically share their stories. So whether you've overcome trauma or maybe it's PTSD or depression or suicide, it basically just gives them that platform of support to share how they overcame. So
let's talk about you a little bit. You know, what made you decide to step into the space of mental health, to talk about depression, suicide, the many different things that come along with that? Let's talk about you a little bit.
So, for me, I'm only 22, but from the age of 15 to 21, I was in this very toxic relationship that was very unpleasing to the Lord. So it wasn't always all bad, but December of 2016, when you just had it, you're just over it. I was basically just at my wit's end, and so I literally would have rather died than not been in that relationship. Wow. So it was rough. So I took over 32 prescription pills. They were not prescribed to me. And I was very intoxicated. So mixing any form of alcohol with medication. Obviously I overdosed. So I was found unresponsive in my car, had to go to the ER and had to stay in a psych ward here in Ohio. So it was real. My rock bottom was surreal, but through the breaking, God used the breaking to birth me in a sense. So yeah.
So let me ask you this, is it difficult for you to kind of have a conversation about mental health? Is it embarrassing? Do you have any kind of shame? Because I believe that one way we overcome is discussing it and talking about it. And there may be somebody who may be listening who may be dealing with some of the same issues, who may be afraid to discuss it. So let's talk about that a little bit.
I would say honestly, when it first happened, I was a little bit embarrassed, and more so because I've always grown up in this perfectionist type of environment. So anxiety to perform, anxiety to be perfect. But it's I ain't perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
So now I'm not really embarrassed about it because it's just for me, it was February of 2017, this year, when I went on social media and went public about the attempt, just because that was something that the other person was trying to hold over me. So I'm oh, you're going to tell people what I did? How about I tell people what I did?
Yeah.
So through that, I was able to start my nonprofit. I was able to help other people. And for me, that's what this platform is for. It's not about me. It's not about, oh, this happened to me, but it's solely about, okay, mental illness, especially in the Black community, is taboo. So what can we set in place to prevent people from committing suicide?
Yeah.
6-year-olds, 10-year-olds are dying, killing themselves because it's oh, I'm being bullied, or, oh, I'm not perfect enough. And it's just it starts with us. We can prevent that stuff.
So how can people find out about your movement? Are you guys online, social media? Because I believe this is a movement that should be shared with the world. And especially in our community, it is taboo to talk about how you feel, especially for Black men. We don't talk about, the issues we're having, the stresses that we're having. And so when you bottle these things in, eventually it has to come out similar to your situation. You know what I mean? It had to eventually materialize itself because of a lack of maybe not talking about it. So how can we find you online? How can people hear and share their own stories?
So basically what you want to do, you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. It's We Are I Live the Movement. And then for the website, it's weareilivethemovement.com. But yeah, definitely subscribe, share, just reach out to us. We're quick with replying and everything because we want to share as many stories as possible just to really like I said, prevent other people from going through what I went through.
Yeah. Is there anything special that you guys got coming up that we should know about?
Yes.
Yeah, I know you got some things going on. What's up?
So it was December 4th through December 12th of last year that I was hospitalized for a suicide attempt. So this year, a whole year later, the Lord really just dropped in my spirit, instead of oh, it's December. Like this time last year, I tried to commit suicide. Like I've basically like created the I Live Because campaign. So basically what that looks like is it's a video series that consists of videos of other people. So like if I was you, I would say, like my name is Yaves Ellis and I live because blah, 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 blah. So like your reason for living is going to be different than why I live. But for me, like the reason I'm doing this all month of December is because it took me like experiencing near death to figure out why I live. So I'm just video series of other people. I go through and I edit them and basically just put a little spin on them. And for me, it's just like amazing to learn about other people. Like, wow, like I live because I know what my calling is, but like this person lives to do X, Y, and Z.
That's dope. Yeah. That's dope. Listen, my name is Yaves Ellis, and I live because I have an 8-month-year-old. Is that right? 8-month-year-old? 8-month-old son, YJ, beautiful wife, as well as a great family who supports me, and my little sister, Jordan Dunlap, as well, man. So please support that movement. What's the website again?
We are ilivethemovement.com. Check it out.
Listen, man, you're tuned in to Any Given Sunday. I got more great news coming up next right here. Power 107.5, 106.3.